So this is probably the messiest shoot we've had ever in the history of Recipe for Disaster. There are things everywhere. Hey guys, Shane DiMaio for the Staten Island Advance, and this is another episode of Recipe for Disaster. It's taking homemade recipes, Staten Island famous recipes, and trying to recreate them in my kitchen, hence disaster. We're here with Ralph from Ralph's Sports Bar, a relatively new place here on Staten Island, but his mom has been making a great recipe for tiramisu in the kitchen every Friday. Ralph, tell us a little bit about it.
It's a signature item that my mother makes, and we've brought it into our restaurant with a couple of different items. My daughter and my niece make it weekly with her. I'm excited to have you guys taste it. I'm excited about you guys trying to replicate it.
The recipe was written in Italian. I couldn't read the recipe.
Right.
You had to translate it for me.
The reason why I want to introduce it in Italian is because that's how my daughter and niece learned it, and I couldn't have been more excited to present something as authentic as that. To me, it's the real deal, and you'll see it as we make it.
English or Italian, I struggle sometimes, so let's get
Not
in
a
the kitchen
problem.
and see what Nonna Rita is up to.
I can't wait.
Io mi chiamo Rita Tafuri, sono la mamma di Ralphie, and I make a tiramisu for maybe 5 years already, and I put my own things.
How do you think I'm gonna do for my first time trying to make it?
Se lei vuole farlo, lo fa e sono sicura che verrà bene. Basta che lei non bagna troppo i biscotti, perché una volta bagnati troppo si disfano.
All right, they just brought the tiramisu out of the kitchen, and we're gonna try this. It looks fantastic, dude. Please, Ralph, your mother, Rita, let's dig into it, and I'll tell you what I think about this here.
Thank you. Ma assaggia. Proviamo insieme. Love it, we know how it tastes, but we hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, man.
It didn't change. It's intense.
So, this is fantastic. This is an amazing recipe. I'm so happy you shared this with us. Thank you so much, Nonna Rita here. Ralph's, I'll be back at my house, and you'll see if I can do this, but Rebeka also has to try it.
Rebeka, we're waiting for you to make it.
She's the judge, so Rebeka, let's try it.
All right, I'm gonna give this a try. That's delicious. Creamy, you're getting all those flavors, perfect texture, molto bene. I think Shane has a chance, but I don't think it's gonna be this good.
Back in my kitchen now, where I get to try to make Nonna Rita's famous tiramisu. Couple different things you need: sugar, ladyfingers, cafe bustillo, eggs you have, dark chocolate, the mascarpone, and of course, a little liquor in this Grand Marnier. So we're gonna start with the coffee, get that dripping. All right, and we don't have any coffee filters because I haven't used a coffee machine since the Keurig was invented. So I'm watching a YouTube video on how to make a coffee filter out of a paper towel, so stand by. I need scissors. 1 second. And there is your homemade coffee filter. So not only are we learning how to make tiramisu, we're learning how to brew coffee at home through YouTube. On one of
what
these
is
things.
the difference between espresso and you just making a cup of coffee?
I know. Less water, stronger, I don't know. Let's
Well, try to figure that out.
let's read about it. Our classic blend of coffee. Add water, set up filter, brew coffee. That's what it says.
To make the tiramisu, we're first going to start off with 10 eggs right here, and we're going to separate the yolk from the white. After we're done with separating the eggs, we're going to take 10 tablespoons of white granulated sugar and put it into the egg yolks.
Now we stir. Egg whites go into a chilled bowl, sitting in my freezer. Also, a couple pieces of shell. Don't do that in your recipe.
And then we're just going to turn it on high power and let it get really fluffy.
Now we're going to be adding the mascarpone to the egg yolk mixture little by little while we're spinning it and stirring it medium speed with the whisk.
When the white it's nice and fluffy, I mix it with the red, with the yolk.
We're going to pour the Grand Marnier into the espresso right before we start to layer it.
We got about 2 cups, maybe a little bit more. It's really about eyeballing it because you only need it for dipping. So we use 2 cups. This might be too much. Coffee going into the dish. All right, we spilled it into the pan. We'll clean that up after. That needs to get soaked up soon. For the Grand Marnier that you need, pour yourself a glass of scotch, and whatever that would be, add it to the mix. But of course, we're only doing half of that mixture here today. So what I'm gonna do is pour myself a glass, and we only need half of this. So, the rest is for me.
And then each layer, which I make 3 layers, each layer we gotta put the cream, I call cream, whatever we make, and I put each layer, the cream, the cookies, the cream, and I do for 3 times.
And we're gonna take the Finger Lady cookies and we're just gonna dip it in fast, let it drain out a little bit, and then just start layering them straight.
So we're gonna take one, dip, and go into the pan.
So now that we have our first layer done, we're gonna take our egg, mascarpone, and sugar mixture, and we're just gonna pour a nice thick layer over the top.
It looks like you put too much into me.
Not only is it not thick enough, but Rebeka says it's too much. She's not gonna say that when she tastes how delicious this is.
So now we're gonna start again with the cookies and espresso layer. We're just adding another layer of the egg, mascarpone, and sugar. This is the final layer of the cookies, and then we're just gonna put a last layer of the cream.
On the top, I put a chocolate.
And we are gonna shave onto the top of the tiramisu. Here we go. 2 together, yeah. Just gonna break up a couple pieces here too and just drop them on there, why not? We don't have any chocolate chips, so these are your chocolate chips. All right, I almost lost my finger, so I'm gonna stop there. And that is what we're looking for, ladies and gentlemen. That is the tiramisu, finished, ready to go.
And that's it. I cover and I put them in the refrigerator. 1 day, massimo 2.
I made half the size about. We're gonna go for 2, maybe 3 hours tops and just let it sit. It doesn't need to bake, anything like that. I just gotta make room in the fridge. So, I'll see you in 2 hours. Do that little wipe. Well, we have it, fresh out of the fridge, ladies and gentlemen. This is the tiramisu a la Nonna Rita. Oh, mamacita, look at, tiramisu Nonna Rita. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. It is sweet, not too sweet. I put my own chocolate chunks on top. Nonna would be proud of me. I gotta tell you right now, she'd give me a big hug and kiss. Rebeka, try the tiramisu and tell me it's not just as good as from Ralph's.
All right, I'm gonna give it a try. It's all right. It's a little bit like the lady fingers didn't get wet enough, which I'm surprised about because the biggest concern from Rita was that they would be too wet, so he really underdid that. Flavor's okay. Honestly, he says it's as good, but I don't think it's nearly as good as hers was. I'm gonna give it a 7 for effort.
We're taking the 7.
It looks nice.
Just say it looks better than you thought. You said it was gonna fall apart.
It looks better than I thought it would, but it's still not that good.
So, full disclosure, I thought this was gonna fall apart off the plate, slop all over my table, like when I was making it. But it didn't. It's actually holding. Look, see that jiggle right there? That's a beautiful jiggle. Shout out to Nonna Rita and Ralph's for having me and showing me their tiramisu recipe. This looks aesthetically pleasing, and I think that's a win for today. What other recipes should we do? Let me know while I cheat on my diet. Thanks for watching, guys.